Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Thank you all for joining with us with this special webinar. And the topic of this webinar is food security green bonds. And we have with us our esteemed speaker, Dr. Prasun Kumar Das sir. He is the Secretary General of Asia Pacific Rural and Agricultural Credit Association, APRACA, Bangkok, Thailand. So, sir, thank you so much for accepting as our honorable speaker. Now, I would like to request our Honorable Director General of CIRDAP, Dr. P. Shekhara sir, to commence this webinar officially, sir.
Yeah, thank you, Hurain. Hope I am audible to Dr. Prasun Kumar. Yeah. Okay, so good morning to all of you. On behalf of CIRDAP family, I would like to extend a hearty welcome to every one of you to this important webinar. My special thanks to Dr. Prasun Kumar Das. Thank you very much, sir, for sparing your valuable time and addressing on this very interesting topic to this international audience. Uh, of course, the very objective of this webinar series, this is 61st webinar in the series, basically meant for stakeholders in rural development in Asia and Pacific, basically to connect global leaders, experts, and global good practices with stakeholders in rural development in Asia and Pacific at all levels. That is the very objective of this webinar series. Today, topic is very interesting, food security and green bond. In fact, this green bond, it infused lot of strength to resilient agri-food systems, mobilize lot of funds, and it strengthens finance at small farmer level, and also bring lot of investment in agriculture infrastructure, and it enhances adoption of modern technology by small farmers. Basically, we can say bring lot of energy into the entire agri-food system. Uh, uh, to handle this, to this very important topic, we have Dr. Prasun Kumar Das. Of course, I will just take 2 minutes to briefly introduce this distinguished speaker. Dr. Prasun Kumar Das is Secretary General of Asia Pacific Rural and Agricultural Credit Association, APRACA, based at Bangkok in Thailand. He is a renowned agriculture finance expert. Basically, he is a doctorate in agriculture, did in financial management, MBA, and also postdoctoral studies in banking and social sciences. Before joining APRACA, he worked with several international renowned organizations like FAO, IFAD, and DFID, and also served the Indian banking sector for a long time. He is very popular among Indian bankers. Uh, and his expertise areas are sustainable rural finance, value chain finance, inclusive climate resilient agriculture, and digital finance services. And as a renowned researcher, he produced 12 books and 15 important research papers. He is a key advocate for aligning regional finances policies with the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. With this brief introduction, again, I would like to thank and welcome Dr. Prasanna Kumar Das. Over to you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Chandrasekhara, for this introduction. I hope now you can hear me, all of
very
you.
Clear.
Okay,
very
thank
clear.
you. Yeah. So good morning and thank you all for joining this session of CIRDAP Knowledge Series, as already said by Dr. Chandrasekhara, organized jointly with APRACA. As all you know, I'm Prasun. I serve as the Secretary General of APRACA based in Bangkok. It's a pleasure to be with the colleagues and professionals from across the Asia Pacific region today to talk about a subject that sits, as already mentioned by Dr. Chandrasekhar, that it sits at the intersection of two of the most pressing challenges of our time: food security and climate resilience. So we are, as already all of you know, that we are on the which side you will go, whether you want food security or you want climate resilient. Now, today's session is built around four major objectives. First, we will be gaining a little bit of insight on the role of green bonds, which can play a supporting role in the food system. And the second, I will share APRACA's own regional perspective and how CIRDAP is also can be a very important partner for the agricultural development banks and rural financial institutions across our member countries and also the region. Thirdly, I will take you forward. For the most, we will open a floor for maybe exchange of your ideas in case it is not orally, but you can send your messages through the chat box. And fourth, I will leave you with a curated set of publications and resources on green finance and green bonds for agriculture, so that today is a starting point rather than an end point. Now, coming to the slide number one, as already Atipan has here. Atipan, can you just full slide, please? Yes. Go to slide number 3, please. 1, 2, 3. Yeah. So the challenge. What is the challenge for food system which is under pressure? In nutshell, as we can see, that there is a climate change, land degradation, biodiversity loss, rising food demand, and converging at precisely the moment when public budget for agriculture remain constant almost everywhere in our region. Of late, you must have seen that the hike in fertilizer because of various geopolitical issues. So we cannot go out of all those, the challenges we had. So let's share some figure that frame the scale of what we are dealing with. According to the FAO study, approximately 673 million people worldwide suffer from hunger, which is from the state of food system. We call it SOFI report. More strikingly, over 2.3 billion people, close to 1/3 of the world population, experience moderate or severe insecurity. They get the food, but they are still insecure that whether we will have. Somebody is telling that you cannot see the slides. Can you all see the slides?
Yes, sir. We can see, sir.
Okay. Maybe
it
it
is
is the
visible.
problem with the iPhone. Okay. So at the same time, the investment required to move agriculture onto a climate resilient, environmentally sustainable footing is enormous. Credible estimates put the global, there are many type of estimates, but some of the credible estimates put the global sustainable finance gap in the trillion of dollars annually. Traditional public financing, government budgets, concessional donor funds simply cannot close this gap. Here is the more hopeful counterpoint. The global green bond has now grown to 9 consecutive years already. It started with the World Bank, and then many countries, even some of the corporations across the globe, they started the green bond. And that has crossed a cumulative $1 trillion in issuance since its inception. Sorry. Capital is available, investors are willing. The task in front of us is how to focus, how to channel, and more that capital specifically towards food security outcomes. Because the reason already we mentioned that these are the reasons 2.3 billion people are still insecure. They're getting food but still insecure. Anytime they may lose. So the world is not short of capital, as I already mentioned. But it is sort of well-structured, credible instrument that direct the capital toward food security. That is precisely the gap of food security. Food security green bonds are designed to close. Let us look now at what are those instruments actually are. Next slide, please. Now, what is a food security green bond? If you can see this, a food security green bond as its foundation, a normal bond. An issuer, a government, maybe a development bank, maybe a financial institution, maybe sovereign, may not be sovereign, maybe corporation, maybe municipalities. In Europe, you can see some of the municipalities are also doing this. Borrows money from investors and commits to repaying in principal plus interest, just a normal banking over an agreed time. Nothing about that basic structure is unusual. So what is the difference? What makes it green and thematically focused on the food security? That is a specific discipline layered on top of basic debt structure. The bankers, those who are present here, they know that how the debt structure is, basic debt structure work. The proceeds are ring-fenced. Here, the proceeds are ring-fenced. Very important. The issuer commits contractually and through ongoing public reporting. Very important, that disclosure to spend that money they collected from the investors only on a defined set of eligible category. Now, eligible category can be defined by the national government, by the SDG, by the international agencies, whosoever. Now, investors get assurance that their capital, whatever they have invested, is achieving a specific, trackable, and environmental and food security outcome. So, this is difference between a normal bond and a green bond. Now, some of the eligible project categories, if you see the right side of your slides, under most food security green bond framework, the proceeds are directed towards climate smart agriculture and regenerative farming practices. So there might be many of them, like some of them are zero tillage, land leveling. So you can name many of them are there. Then sustainable irrigation and efficient water management system. Renewable energy for agriculture and agro-processing facilities. In Bangladesh, we have seen some of them are already, they started working, but in a very lower scale because they do not have this green bond facility. Probably in future, we will see it more. Sustainable fisheries and aquaculture, agroforestry and soil restoration. Resilient rural infrastructure, including storage and cold chain logistics. So, if you see, all the actors in the value chain are covered under the green bond. So, these categories are not arbitrary. They are drawn directly from the kinds of investment that simultaneously reduce the food insecurity, build climate resilience, and protect the natural resources. So these are basically supporting first SDG 2, which is zero hunger, SDG 13, which is climate action, and SDG 15, life on land. So if you see that this green bond has a direct impact on 3 SDG, Sustainable Development Goal 2030. Next slide, please. Now, how food security green bond work? What is the life cycle? If you see, there are 5 basically the nodes of this life cycle. So first one is issue. Who will issue? A government, development bank, or financial institution brings the bond to the market. Maybe sometime it is a private placement. Credible issuers typically align their framework with the ICMA Green Bond Principle, which is the first Green Bond Principle globally accepted. And Global Voluntary Standard covering use of the proceeds, project evaluation, and selection management and reporting. So first one is issue. Then second one is allocate. Whom you are allocating? Once raised, proceeds are ring-fenced, as already said. They are kept separate from the issuer's general funding. It means that it goes to the special purpose vehicle. So they create a SPV to get the money, whatever money they are collecting after issuing, to put into that SPV. Then third is deploy. How we deploy it? This is what the rural agriculture finance institutions, the very institution of what APRACA represents, play a decisive role. They are the ones actually on lending these funds down to farmers, cooperatives, agricultural SMEs, or maybe financing the rural infrastructure that underpins the food system. So it goes to the fourth part of the life cycle, report. Credible issuers publish the report document. As I already said, that it should be reported publicly and also disclosure. So the reports documenting exactly where the money went and what it achieved using concrete verifiable metrics. For example, tons of CO2 equivalent is avoided, hectares of degraded land restored, number of smallholder farmers reached, similar type of indicators. So while you do the reporting, we have to do the indicators based on the original objective of the green bond. Now go to the last part of the life cycle, repayment. Now repayment, investors are repaid according to the agreed bond terms, strong track record of transparent impact reporting makes it easier and cheaper. One point I would like to underline here before we move on, credibility in this market rests heavily on the external review. It means if you go to the number one of this life cycle, there is an issue. So when the issue is basically reviewed externally, then allocation, deploy, report, all those are externally reviewed. It gets more credibility in the market. Next slide, please. Now, a fast growing $1 trillion market. See, in case of, I'm not going into the detail of this, you can see the slide. But what very important here is that the global green bond issuance has grown from 37 billion US dollar in 2024 to, you can see that it has passed 500 almost, towards the $1 trillion. So the market is still open. However, if we see most of these green bond has gone to the either to the energy sector or to the transport sector. Very few of them has gone to the agri sector. Now there is a room. That's what we are trying to bring in here. That within that overall pool, agriculture, forestry, land use still receive very comparatively in some of the study of IFAD. It says that around 8%, which is already mentioned in one of our book as well. So two additional trend work in our favor here. First, Asia Pacific is becoming a larger contributor to the global green bond issuance. This is the opportunity, very big opportunity led by the sovereign issuers. Who are the sovereign issuers? Maybe sometime it is the government itself, but sometime it is the development financial institutions, like for example, NABARD, maybe PBARD, maybe ARDB, maybe Agricultural Development Bank in Nepal, whosoever. I mean, they can come out with a bond which is sovereign issue. Means the credibility is already, one layer credibility is already there. So the second layer of credibility you can add by adding a external leafing. Now this is in the market. Market is very big. Put simply, this is genuinely favorable moment for the APRACA member institutions and also the other countries which are we want dedicated food security tranches or even standalone food security green bond. Next, please. Now, APRACA's regional perspective. Why APRACA is interested in no issuance of green bond for the food security? So the vantage point of this topic, since this is the second sub-objective of the today's session, for less familiar with our organization, I am sure that most of you might have already know APRACA, but already my good friend Dr. Chandrasekhar already mentioned about APRACA. We are working since last 50 years in this region. We are on our Golden Jubilee year, and we do major three work. One is capacity building. So we are providing, like last this week, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, we had brought around 15 people to train them on the how to issue green bond. So that is one of our very important and training and technical support we are providing. The second, policy dialogue. Like, because as you know that APRACA has a membership across the central banking system, we do have the advantage of reaching out to them for a policy dialogue. We will have our next policy dialogue on this regional green food security green bond in the Philippines during February, first week of February. So then that we have that reach in the regional level. The third one is the green and inclusive finance. We are promoting through various projects. One of the projects, I just give you an example, those who are from Nepal, they might be knowing, IFAD APRACA Fin Power Program, which was implemented in Nepal. So these are the unique advantage, and that's why we can position APRACA in that way. Then we have also, as I mentioned, that these are the combination, the grassroots which paired with the regional governing power from APRACA. It is exactly the perspective I want to bring to the subject of food security green bonds. And with this, I would like to congratulate CIRDAP for taking up this also as a part of their knowledge dissemination workshop or the webinar. So we can work together. APRACA's reach out to the central banking system, and CIRDAP's reach out to the rural development ministries or agriculture ministries. We can work together and support the region. Next slide, please. Then I want to give some of the regional experiences of the green agri-finance. First of all, as I already mentioned about IFAD-APRACA Power, Nepal, where APRACA in partnership with IFAD and Nepal Rashtra Bank, those who are from Nepal, they know there's a central bank, convened a green finance forum specifically focusing on integrating renewable energy, and with special reference to the hydro energies and environmental, because our interest is mostly the hydropower, the water, all goes to agri sector. So that is the major no interest of APRACA. And this is APRACA's own hands-on experience running exactly this kind of work at the country level. But it was not exactly as a green bond, but now we are trying to get the green bond to do this type of work. Go to some of the out of region, FIRA, Mexico. That is also part of APRACA's counterpart in Latin America. We call them ALIDE. So they also work together with FIRA Mexico and Finance in Common Forum, where APRACA also is a part of the steering committee. So APRACA participated in this kind of a forum alongside institutions like Agriculture Development Bank of China, TADB, Agriculture Development Bank of Tanzania, and IFAD. Sorry. So it is useful proof point that development finance institutions with a mandate, specific mandate, similar to many APRACA members, have successfully brought agriculture-focused green bond in the market already. For example, BAC, as all of you know, the first agriculture bank which issued the green bond, food security green bond in Thailand for the Southeast Asian region. Then Agri-PDB platform and ADIC. So more broadly, there is an Agri-PDB platform which for adaptation and resilience investors collaboration. APRACA represent the growing this also, and APRACA is a part of the steering committee for this global platform. Then ASEAN National Green Bond Guideline. As you know, the European Union, they come out first with the green bond guideline and also the green finance guideline, that how to reduce the misuse of the green finance, or because as I already mentioned that the investors, they get less interest than normal bond, but their interest is completely different. They want to invest in agriculture. So here, ASEAN has stated some standard level, a framework, which maybe in South Asia we are still missing. So Asian Green Bond Standard they have created, which is a broader framework for the ASEAN countries, Association for Southeast Asian Nations. So taken together, these 4 examples tell us some which are like the building blocks, standards, the precedents and institutional partnership. So these are already in place in this region. But as you know, Asia is a huge area. We start from the West Asia, Central Asia, South Asia, Southeast Asia, East Asia. So and the Pacific Island. So basically we are 6 sub-region. I think out of all these sub-region, East Asia is little advanced in green bond, preparing all the guidelines. Southeast Asia has started with support from ASEAN, but for other regions, it is still no guidelines are available. So that's an opportunity for APRACA and CIRDAP to support these countries to develop the guidelines. Next slide, please. So coming to the opportunities and challenges across Asia Pacific. So when there is opportunity, there are challenges, definitely. So on the opportunity side, if you see that there is a large unreserved financing gap, as I already mentioned, it's $1 trillion market, and Asia Pacific has the major appetite. Asia Pacific can absorb most of it. Then agri-SMEs are growing in Asia Pacific. For example, I am in Thailand for the last 13 years. What I have seen, the change in the agri-SME landscape, which I think in other countries, for example, Bangladesh, maybe in Vietnam, in the Philippines, we have seen that the agri-SME is being, taking very center stage. Then the region already has a growing track record of sovereign development bank green bond issuance, not in agriculture, but maybe in the energy or transportation sector. So we can leverage that to use, and we can build upon that. Then investors' appetite on SDG aligned. See, whenever we have seen that across this region and also in other region, if you have a right kind of a green bond which is aligned with SDG, you get the investors, no problem. Appetite is still very high. Then the fourth one is the regional standard. As I already mentioned, ASEAN already makes some standard, which is explicitly recognized agriculture. So issuers are not starting from blank page. We are already there. We have to only expand and scale it up. Then blended finance structure. You have heard about this word, blended finance. It's just how the green bond can be structured. If you structure it with a private and public capital or public investment, then it's blended, and at the same time you offer some insurance product. Now the challenges, which is also very important to have understand the challenge side. Oh, sorry. So when you see the challenge, agricultural projects tend to be smaller in ticket size. Millions of farmers. Asia Pacific is the highest number of farmers. For example, renewable energy plant, very small, which makes a fixed cost of issuance. So if the total fund requirement is low, but your cost for issuance for all the five nodes I mentioned already, you have cost for each of them. But if your size is low, then it is very difficult to manage. So that is one of the bigger challenges. Many member countries or member institutions still have the limited local capacity. For example, Laos, they have only 7 million people. How they can absorb a domestic green bond? So they have to go for maybe the international green bonds. Green taxonomy is still in most of our countries. We do not have the taxonomy. Once the taxonomy is developed, it will be easy for the investors to come out and say that, well, this is the taxonomy and this is where we are investing. So there will be more clarity. Then currency and credit risk we still have. If you see $1 in most of the Asian countries are very high. I mean, cost is very high, and all these investors' money coming either in dollar or in euro or maybe in pound. So which is a very difficult for our country risk, and also the foreign forex risk. The final one is a structural lead of aggregation thinking. pulling many small agricultural projects into single, bankable, and larger ticket green bond. As I mentioned, the first one and fifth one is the actually the almost to be same, but this is the way we can do it. Now, I want to pause on this list. So I have a little bit of an idea to go. Can you go to the next slide, please? Yes. So some exchange. If you have the chat, and can somebody maybe madam can go through the chat box if they have any question, or I have these 5 questions. So the question 1 is, what is your institution or your country's current experience, if any, with green sustainability or clean climate resilient bonds? What is that? Some of you may have already direct exposure, others may be observing from the sidelines, and both perspectives are valuable to this conversation. If you are observing from the sidelines, it is important to see where are the loopholes, where are your opportunities, where you can invest so that most of the farmers are getting the benefits. Now, question number 2 here is thinking about the barriers. Sorry. We just discussed the barriers. First is regulatory. Very important that how the regulatory institution will react on your proposal for a green bond. Then capacity related, whether your bank has a capacity to do it, whether your people are trained. Then market depth. For example, I already said that in case of Laos, market is only 7 million people, out of which maybe bankable people are maybe 1.5 million. So what is the depth of the market? Of which mostly means the food security and issuance of your specific one. So once you draw some of these points, it will be very easy for you to go to build on this and see where are you, what you can do, and what support you need. Whether it is a technical support or a financial support, what kind. Then accordingly you progress. Question 3. What do you see in the greatest potential for the regional application? What is the question? As you mentioned, can somebody repeat the question, please?
You mentioned graph from 2014 to 2017 was
24. 2024. 14 to 24. Yes.
Was increased. The question is, what is the cause behind that? Would be international trade competition policy or aligned with SDG mechanisms?
Oh, no. What I already said, that the trend is increasing. However, most of this increase is either in the transport sector or in the energy sector. Of late, some of the green bond is going to the housing sector, and that is global. So globally, in the green bonds are being used mostly in the European or the developed countries, in some part in the East Asia. So it is increasing, and that's why I said that it has already crossed half a trillion. So there is $1 trillion market. In 10 years, if it can go up to the $500 billion, maybe in another 2 to 3 years, there will be more of jump on this. But our interest is not the global. Our interest is what is our percentage of food security green bond on the total green bond issued. So that's my question to all of you and all of us ask ourselves that what is that? Now going to the where you see the potential of the regional application. Then what if we see that whether there is a co-guarantee mechanism, why the green bond will be purchased by an investor if there is no co-guarantee? Whether that co-guarantee can be extended to the farmers also, if they cannot repay due to some other climate shocks. So all these are actually an acting market and a collective market. So that is the question number 3. Question number 4, that one is really directed back to APRACA and CIRDAP as conveners. What role should these regional bodies play in supporting member institutions? This has come to us. Whether training, standard setting, matchmaking with the investors, or something else. What is the question, madam? I saw a question.
Question is, what are the benefits for a prospective issuer considering such bonds versus vanilla bonds? Example, increased premiums or appetites, regulatory incentives.
Maybe, doctor, these questions can be answered at the end.
I think that's correct. Yeah, that's correct. I follow you. Yeah. Okay. So now I pause here to, I'm not going to open the question as already suggested by Dr. Chandrasekhara, that let us take a 10 minutes for the question answer session. But please continue to write your questions on the chat box. Please go ahead with that. Next slide, please. Now, the question is, who needs to be in the table? Maybe some of your questions can be answered from here as well. So, if you see that as we exchange ideas, it helps us to share the map of ecosystem. Who should be in the food security bond? Who should sit in the table? So, first one is the government and regulators set the enabling environment. So, they are the most important part of this conversation. Okay, and as somebody asked that whether there is a fiscal incentive, that is decided by the regulators, by the government, whether the government need to achieve those 3 targets of SDG, which already we mentioned, number 2, 11 and 13. Sorry, 2, 13 and 15. So these 3. Then the second person who should come to the table is the development and rural banks. Why we need a rural bank? The core of APRACA membership are the development and rural bank. They can be the issuer on the lenders channeling the process down to, because they know what is required at the ground level. I am collecting money, but if I don't know how to use the money, that particular money, which is low cost, all the green bond, if you see, they don't attract interest. That's why you and me cannot invest, because the interest is lower than the bank interest. So they know where they are investing and how much they will invest, what they will report, and what will be the impact of that. The third person who should be in the table are the institutional investors. Institutional investors. That's why I say, if you see any green bond anywhere in the world, including World Bank issuance, it's a private placement. Means, because I am a sovereign entity, I issue green bond, I cannot go to the market, because market, it cannot compete, because the interest rate is low. So I go to the dedicated institutions or institutional arrangements with either with the insurance companies, pension funds, or maybe green focused asset managers, because some of the no angel investors, they need green focused green focused asset. So they are SDGs. So they are the third people, those who should be in the table. Then come the fourth person, who are the verifiers and rating agencies. If your green rating is completely different, and some of you are asking about the vanilla kind of a bond. No, green rating depends on the impact. That what will be the impact on greening agriculture or greening the, as you know, that green agriculture emits 33% of the global greenhouse gas. So we need to be very careful that this has to go to the agriculture sector to reduce that GH. Now, the verifiers, those who verify, rating agencies, they should be better. More verification, more ratings, more credible your green bond. Fourth one, farmers and agricultural cooperatives. Farmers are important because they need to be trained. Now we are doing one of the program with the FAO, maybe in we'll start the fourth quarter. That is on how the resilient farmer field school can be developed. So these are very important to have the farmers and the cooperatives. And finally, the regional bodies like APRACA, CIRDAP, we can play the convening role. We have that convening power. We have that, our system work like for them only. So we can be also the. So now these are the 6 type of people should be in the table. Okay. Go to the next, please. Next slide. So now go to the publication and resources. I request you, all of you, to go through this. This is the most important part of it. If you want to develop your own ideas about green bond, or maybe how to issue the green bond. So 3 publications, recent publications. One is Driving Finance for Sustainable Food System by UNEP, United Nations Environment Program. The Green Finance as a Critical Lever for Delivering Sustainable Agri-Food System by Food and Agriculture Organization of the UN. And third one is the Food Security Green Bonds by FAO and APRACA. Sorry. So the other resources, these are the major publications. Now some of the resources are there. One is ICMA Green Bond Principle. That is a global kind of a principle, but that gives us a broad framework. After that, you can develop your own framework. Then ADB, how to issue green, social and sustainable bond. Very important to understand how to issue, because the first part of is the issuance. So step by step. Then the World Bank, green bond proceed management. After you issue, you have a proceed. So how to manage the proceed and reporting guideline. That is also important, disclosure and reporting. Finally, the fourth one is a climate bond initiative. These documents are freely available, and you don't have to say online, it is available. Okay, go to the next slide, please. Now, what is the recommendation? So, for me, we have very many experiences of without preparing our cadre, we started the project, which is very wrong. First, you have to develop your cadre. Who will do it? who will lead it, who will provide the triggers. So all these things have to be prepared for. So first is build capacity. Second, start small and prove impact. Don't go for a $500 million project. Probably 50 million, 60 million with a particular commodity or particular farmer group. You can start humble and provide the impact. Once you are confident, then you will have you can go for a bigger one. Then pool resources. It is not only that you will be, as I said, that aggregation platform or co-guarantee structure, issuing jointly. Maybe two banks can come together. Maybe two sovereign institutions can come together to jointly issue. Then harmonize the standards. How to harmonize? Align national green taxonomy. If your country has a green taxonomy, you do it with the ASEAN regional. If you are in ASEAN, you go for ASEAN regional standard. You can use the EU standard. You can use the IFC standard. All standards are available. You try to harmonize with your national standard. Then engage investors early. Before you go for issuance, you need to go to the investors first to check which are the investors potential that they can they can be used as a for the collection of money, investors. Then finally leverage APRACA and CIRDAP. Our potential, our convening power, our technical assistance, all are there. You can anytime use and treat this as a resource. I would encourage all of you to bring these 6 steps back to your own institution as a practical checklist. And all of them you can prepare it down. You can disaggregate those and go for various issues on each of them. For example, build capacity, whether it is a sensitization program, it is a training program, it is a certification program. So this can be granularized further. Go to the next slide, please. So key takeaway. What are the key takeaway from all these discussions? Food security green bonds are genuinely powerful mechanism because they let us pursue 2 urgent global goals. 1, reduce hunger and food security and building climate resilience. Second, this is not a theoretical proposition from our region. APRACA's own network already has a direct practical experience. We have done it in Thailand. We are doing it in Vietnam. We were supporting Cambodia. So all these are we have already done it in Nepal. So we have that practical capacity. The value of today's cross-country exchange is real. There is no problem in cross-country exchange. At least in this part of the Asia, we are the barriers are very easily you can change the barriers, and you do not have to start from scratch. A strong foundation of publications from FAO, UNEP, APRACA, ICMA, World Bank, Asian Development Bank, Climate Bond Initiative, everything is existing. So you don't have to start from scratch. You have already the material with you. Thank you all for your attention and more importantly for your engagement throughout the session. We tried to cover most of the things, but definitely 1 hour is not sufficient. It is 2-3 days required for the background and go up to the reporting level. So I'd like now to open the floor.
Thank you so much, sir. Sir, there are some questions in the chat box.
Yes, please go ahead with that.
Okay, so from Dr. Suresh, Do green bonds apply to one substations or multi-storied buildings?
What station?
Do green bonds apply to substations or multi-storied buildings? It's a question
No, no,
from
no, no,
Dr.
no, no. It's a food security green bond. It's a food security green bond. Nothing to do with the housing. Nothing to do with the energy. Only we can go for hydropower or solar energy, which are used only for agricultural purpose.
So
Next question.
Next question from Pushpa Ghimer. Blended finance is very important, especially for agri-SMEs. In the lending from the green bond, what is proportion of philanthropic support or
No,
subsidy?
philanthropic support, yes, philanthropic support can come as an investor. Philanthropic support, if philanthropic support can come for issuing, because the cost or issuing, cost for verification, cost for rating, cost for reporting, all can come from the philanthropic part. Next question.
From Mr. Selim Reza, in Bangladesh, a big challenge is farmers are not getting the proper price of their producing products. They are losing. Most of them think investment in agriculture is not safe. So green bond, how will it work?
No, that's correct. He is correct because market is no very irrational in case of agri products. So here it is not the market. We are not talking about the market. We are talking about climate resilient production systems. Once you are following climate resilient production system, automatically your crop quality is higher. You can sell it at a higher price, and the market is going to be open in maybe very soon for all these type of products. So once you start this, and for green bond investors, they don't see they see only that where they are investing. Next question.
From Mr.
Sorry.
If a Malaysian DFI wish to issue a green sukuk, not a conventional bond, what is the role that CIRDAP-APRACA can play to assist?
No. A green sukuk is similar like a green bond. It's only follow the Sharia rule. That's all. So it is not different from the food security green bond. If the idea of it is to use for agri food system, and we can support, definitely we can support.
The next question from Mr. Ranjan. What is the cost of capital at the farmers level? Does it fulfill the criteria of affordability and accessibility of small farmers for financial inclusions? And he has another question. Other than availability of food by food supply, how it deal with accessibility and utilization of food security?
No. We are not here for food. We are talking about food security, but we are talking about a financial instrument to be used for the food security. And as you know, that food security is driven by three things. One is availability, accessibility, and affordability. Once any of three is missing, that's not food security. Okay, so 3A, remember 3A. So if our green bond is not supporting accessibility, availability, or affordability, then it is not a food security green bond.
Two person raised their hand. From Mr. Supawat, availability in database as GIS or big data of successful case in order to be practicable lessons learned for another interesting farmer. Sir, this is the comment from.
Yeah. No, database is always important. If you have good database of the farmers, you know what commodities they are producing, what are the agronomic practices they are doing, what kind of a technology they are using. So automatically you can develop your product which you will be using after collecting the money from the investors in green bond. Yes.
Okay, Mr. Sanjay, you can ask your question now. You can unmute yourself now.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, the respectable host. And thank you, sir. So I am Dr. Sanjay Chandra Bhattacharjee. I'm working as a veterinarian in a rural area in Bangladesh. So as you have mentioned earlier that there are 3 S as a primary objectives for establishing green bonds. So I would like to establish something like that. Like rural people have sometimes lesser access to finance. So if I want to protect their livestock resources as a veterinarian, how can I get help in terms of providing them greater access to quality livestock healthcare, as well as to improve their resources, quality resources? How can I introduce this kind of initiative? I don't know anything like this exists. So can you please give me some direction? Thank you, sir.
No, thank you, Dr. Bhattacharya, for this question. This particular issue of healthcare, veterinary healthcare, definitely one part is the government, their extension system, how they support the healthcare, how they can provide the medicine and other healthcare system. But one very important issue you raised about the financing, that how they get the finance. What I have seen, if you see, there are two small ruminants and the large ruminants. When you see the small ruminants, you buy 10, 15, 20, 30 for commercial production and commercial support. But when you go for the large ruminant like cattle or others, you buy only one or two. It's not sufficient for a household to run. So in that case, what we always prefer to have a producers group. So if you have a producers group, they can negotiate. They have the power to negotiate. They can go to the banks and negotiate. Even the food security green bonds can also be used for providing them a kind of revolving fund. So that revolving fund they can use for the health of the health system and also for their lean period. Because in this area, there is a lean period also. So that period is very difficult to handle. Yeah, thank you.
We are very sorry because we are at our very end of our time, but still we are just going to take one last questions. Mr. Tapan, you can ask. Earlier you raised your...
Thank you. Thank you, APRACA, for the nice presentation. Myself, Prasun Kumar. I am a DGM working in NABARD, National Bank for Agriculture Rural Development, a DFI in India. So my question is, earlier we have gone to float the green bond. We have started direct lending under NABARD Green Lending Facility for the green. But when we go to raise the resources through green bond, we have seen there is no greenium, that is no premium for raising the green bonds. On the markets, particularly in India, it is not sensitive enough to raise the resources through green bond. Because when we finance our own products through NGLF while market borrowing, we could not see the big difference between the raising the resources through green bonds or the normal bonds. So how will be able to cater to the green bond raising the resources? That is one question. Second, if you will raise the resources through the green bonds, even if there is no difference in premium, what will be the compliance cost? So that raising the resources through green bond and deploying through our instruments, whether it will be really beneficial in this scenario, please.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Sahu, for this question. I think NABARD has a lot of experience in issuance of, no, I think I remember it is social bond. So one tranche of social bond was already issued by NABARD, and probably they have the investors already no, identified. What we have seen in the three countries where we supported the DFIs, number one, they get most of the this cost for providing training. Number one. Number two, the each rating, the verification, certification, all are being supported from either by its multilateral banks loan or finance from the government, or from the bilateral agencies. For example, in case of Vietnam, it is JICA is helping them. So similar kind of, first of all, if you do not want to increase the farmers' rate of interest for these, if you want to give a premium or a incentive to the farmers for this greening, because farmer cannot adopt it if there is no incentive. So if you incentivize the farmer with a lower interest rate, even than your normal or standard lending, then you have to reduce the cost. And reduction of the cost, you have no other mechanism but to reduce the cost of issuance, cost of verification, third-party verification, third-party certification, ratings. These are the major costs, because those who are the investor, especially the institutional investors, they do not ask for higher interest rate. They don't ask for, because they want to comply. So most of them are doing their compliance because they are either a emitter or they need to follow some of the government directives. So I think probably this, if you see the cost in all till the issuance and certification reporting, if you can find out what are the costs for those, I think that will reduce your cost. And once you reduce the cost, you get a lower price. You can also offer the similar way to the farmers. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Now I would like to request our Director General of CIRDAP, Dr. P. Chandra Shekhara sir, to provide his closing remark of this webinar.
First of all, thanks to Dr. Prasun Kumar Das for this wonderful presentation. Still, some hands are intact, so we could not accommodate all the raised hands, and maybe the Hurain will be collecting email IDs of all the participants, and some of your presentation and some of the questions we will just try to pass on to APRACA, for further correspondence. I have a few, of course, this is very interesting introductory topic, but I found it very interesting because when people have to invest money, they see some ready benefit on the table. Otherwise, they, go one step back, especially investing in agriculture, especially on small and, marginal farmers, anything related to that. So few areas like, carbon credit and food processing industries, which, they comply with climate resilient agri-food systems. And of course, cooperatives, so you have answered. Even as a revolving fund, as a special purpose vehicle, programs can be launched where the existing successful cooperatives can make use of this bond to attain the next level, passing on the benefit to all its members. It's just possible. Then I don't know whether some of the agribusiness industries which are in compliance with climate resilient agri-food system, they if they are eligible, probably that will also boost, because when industry is involved, successful cooperatives are involved, food processing sector is involved, people start seeing more benefits right away. And definitely, on the other hand, all the back end small farmers will get benefited. Then CIRDAP and APRACA, yeah, it was a open invitation from APRACA. Thank you very much. In fact, after signing MOU, this is the first activity and the best activity. So we can take it forward, maybe through capacity building programs. Each country, yeah, there is possibility to identify one expert and giving him all the inputs to handle and promote green bond in his respective country. So he will serve as a master trainer or a master expert when he go back to his respective country. Yeah, that is one area. Probably I see opportunity for both of us to work together. And of course, I was just thinking, just to make green bonds attractive, the government is giving varieties of subsidies to the farmers directly. You know, the utilization pattern of subsidies, it is well known to all of us. Now, if the subsidies are routed through green bonds, the farmers, cooperatives, or farmers producers organizations comply with the guidelines, they can make utilize of this fund. Investor also, it becomes a little bit interesting, and government definitely see proper utilization of funds at farmers end. So I don't know, I mean, to what extent we can convince the governments to mainstream some of the subsidies through green bond. Then there is a good scope for building special purpose vehicles, blending corporate social responsibility and philanthropies on one side, industries on the other side, climate finance people on one more side, and definitely that combination will be liked by government on one side and small farmers on other side. One more sector which comes to my mind, maybe good agri startups. Agri startups which are very potential to serve both the ends, small farmers' interest as well as green bond, climate smart agri startups. If you can support those startups, they have their own farmer space, and maybe mid-size or small-size green bonds can be routed through cooperatives and agri sectors. There was one question from Malaysia. Of course, Dr. Prasun Kumar ji responded to them. In fact, this is one area where APRACA and CIRDAP can also work, giving further handholding support to Malaysia to achieve its objective. Wonderful. We really enjoyed, and for the benefit of all the participants, this entire talk will be available in CIRDAP YouTube channel forever. And whenever you want to make use of this, definitely you can make use of this. I hope you have dropped your email IDs in the box. And whenever future programs are there, we'll be in touch with you. Thank you, Dr. Prasun Kumar Dasji, for your time. Thanks to everyone.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you all for joining with us. Thank you. Have a nice day, sir.